You've probably seen some stuff about this already because it's currently a very big thing floating around in the community. A few days ago, when asked about hero bans on Reddit, a member of the Blizzard team called Alec responded with, and I quote, "Want to clarify here that the first time we do this, it will be for a limited time as an experiment. With that said, we're still discussing how exactly it will work in the match flow and where we put this experiment. Confirming that yes, hero bans will be coming to the game at some point in the future, but as an experiment first rather than being fully implemented right away." Now, is this change going to be a good thing or a bad thing? Will it actually make the game more balanced? I'll get into that in a minute, but first I'm going to ask you to subscribe and leave a like on this video, as I want to continue making Overwatch 2 related content that's not only entertaining, but educational too. I should also clarify that this is my personal opinion on the matter, so if you think otherwise, that's completely fine. You're entitled to your own opinion on this, as the whole community is going to have a say on whether this gets fully implemented or not at some point. With that being said, do I think this change is going to be any good, or do I think it's going to be a hindrance? Well, the answer is yes to both things. I feel like some aspects of it are going to be really good, whilst other aspects of it are going to be somewhat of a bad thing. Let's start with the good. Hero bans allow for the games to be a bit more balanced, as banning heroes with abilities that apply debuffs, etc. means that you won't be forced to have to pick a hero that counters them. For example, you won't have to play Kiri if Ana is banned because you won't have to cleanse Anti. It also means that, if you wanted to, you could ban all one-shot heroes in the match like Hanzo, or just generally annoying characters like Sombra and Mei. Overwatch is meant to be fun, so banning the heroes that tend to be a pain in the ass all match would bring a whole new level of fun to the game. Now for the bad. People are going to use this to their advantage and make matches a living hell. Of course they are, that's kind of the whole point of hero bans. You ban heroes that you know you have to play a specific hero against in order to counter them. Like my example of Ana from before. This raises a question that even Alec mentioned in the Reddit post. Like, what if my main gets banned? What if we can't play heroes that counter the enemy team? These are very good questions, and my only response to them is that you should start learning new heroes alongside your main. Obviously, you're always going to be most comfortable and consistently good on your main because that's who you've sunk the most time into. But if hero bans do get implemented as a permanent function, you'll be prepared for when your main gets banned. The TLDR of this is that the game might be made a lot less fun because some entire teams are going to counter other entire teams. Plus, your main could potentially get banned, making it somewhat more difficult for you to excel in the match. With the roster being as small as it is in comparison to games that have hero bans as a thing like League of Legends, this could prove to be a pretty big problem. Yes, the roster is consistently growing, but it's nowhere near the size of League's roster. There's 166 heroes in League, and there's only 39 heroes in Overwatch so far. I think before they trial this in quick play, they should make it its own game mode within the arcade, or bring back experimental mode. As obviously, this needs to be tested and therefore would be an experiment. They could even potentially make this mode into an event, offering something special like a player icon and some XP as reward for playing the game mode. I guess we'll see where it goes in the future seasons. But that just about does it for this video. So, to sum it up, hero bans have their ups and downs. They could either be a great aid to your team or a great hindrance depending on how both your team and the enemy's team decide to play into them. As I said before, I think it could work well as an arcade mode that gets cycled through daily. Much like Team Deathmatch and Elimination, but as a core feature in the game, it will cause a slight problem, because people are going to feel discouraged to play the game if it means there's a chance that they don't get to play a hero they enjoy playing. That's just my take on it. I'm sure other people probably think differently to me, as the Overwatch community is very varied. One thing that we can all agree on is that the rumored swap tokens thing is a terrible idea. If it actually happens, then the game is going to be so boring because we can't swap and we're forced to take a beating. Please, for the love of God, don't let this be a real thing. Please. Anyways, that's the end of this video. Once again, I'm going to ask you to like this video as it lets me know that you find these videos not only to be helpful, but entertaining. Let me know how you feel about this rule potentially coming into the game. Do you think it's cool, or do you think it's pointless? Finally, have a nice day or night if you're watching this at night, and make sure to check out my other videos. Not only will I appreciate it, but you might too.